What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and for this one I want to give you guys a bit of a review on my newest favorite Inhuman character in the game right now, and that's this lady right here, Crystal. And the reason why Crystal is one of my favorite guys is not even because she's good, which she's good, trust me guys, we'll get to that in a second, but the reason why I like Crystal is because I think that her skills animate very nicely. They really appeal to me, and the fact that she wields multiple different elements, which 4 to be exact. Like, sure, air in the game right now is not classified as one, however she does have a skill that looks like air and another one that looks like earth. So to me guys, she's pretty much Avatar, the last airbender or the first airbender or whatever. She just looks really freaking cool using all these different elements. So that was what drew my attention and what made me want to work on her leadership, which this right here, it says Elementalist, and it gave her a standard 30% energy attack boost. And although this is good, I really wish it did more, or rather it did something different, something that we haven't seen. Since she wields multiple different elements, this would have been a nice time for Netmarble to just drop the standard 30 and just give her something more like fitting for the name. So since she wields earth, water or cold, and fire and air, it would have been nice for them to give her an elemental type leadership that boosts multiple different elements. Although it would not be as effective as giving her a standard 30% overall boost to her damage, it would have been nice to see them diversify the type of leaderships we have in the game. So you could make teams with like characters that deal cold damage and characters that deal fire damage, and not take a big loss where only one type of the characters will be getting that boost. Anyways, moving on. So the leadership right here is really good, and overall her kit is actually pretty awesome too. She reminds me a lot of Songbird with more damage, and Songbird is already really good guys, so more damage on top of that is friggin' awesome. Her tier 2 passive is good, like it's good for who she is and what she does. I just personally wanted more out of it. I really wish that this 15% that she was getting to her damage was 25%, because then that would be just like guys, that would be friggin' awesome. But still, 15% is nice, and I have no complaints with the increase to all debuff effects. And the duration, that's fine too, because she has a lot of debuffs and it's very fitting for who she is. Now, for me guys, whenever I use Crystal, I try to start off with the 5 skill, which is the Veil of the Earth, because as you guys can see, it gives you a 4-second stun, bind, or whatever you guys want to call it. As you guys can see right here, it says entombs the enemies in rocks for 4 seconds. So this skill right here, you definitely want to open with it because it has a guard as well. However, one thing you need to keep in mind is that there is a bit of a wind up to it. So there's like a half a second to a second where she's approaching the enemies and she's about to put her hand down on the ground, and you can take damage before you can get that off. Maybe it's just me because I currently don't have really high attack speed with her. So hopefully, once you get enough attack speed, that wind up will be a little bit shorter and you can evade or avoid taking damage at the startup. Because once you get this skill off, guys, it's really hard to get to Crystal. So you want to open with this skill, and then for me, I generally just follow up with the 4 skill because it roots you. And this skill right here, although the damage is alright, as you guys can see, it gives you a 35% chance for the enemy's attacks to miss. So if they try to attack you, there's a third of their attacks that will miss, guys. So that's actually really freaking good. That's a massive bump to her survivability, and whatever's attacking you is going to take a massive cut to their damage. So that's actually really freaking awesome. Her 4-star passive is actually decent too. As you guys can see, there's a 25% activation rate when she's attacking, and it decreases the enemy's resistance to all your elemental attacks by 15%. That's actually really good. So this on top of her leadership, that's like a guaranteed 45% increase to all your attacks. Now, there is a 15-second cooldown to this, and that's okay. It's not the worst. It's pretty good. Most of the time, we'll see a 30-second cooldown for passives that are half decent. So 15 seconds is actually pretty good. However, I really would have liked it if they made it so that this tier 2 passive cut the cooldown time on this skill from 15 to 10, but that's just me, guys, and maybe I'm just being greedy and just want the most I can get out of this girl's skill set because she's just so fun to play. Now, this skill right here, which is the skill that I usually follow up with. So after I hit the 5, the 4, I usually go into the 3. And this skill right here, I think looks really, really freaking awesome. This skill has a partial iframe as well. And it's one of the skills that you can use to kind of lock down the enemies. Because although it has the decrease to all speed, I don't really care for that. And I don't really notice it, to be honest. However, once you get this hurricane type attack off, you can kind of guard break and stun lock the enemies with it. So for me, I usually pop this and then I will hit the cyclone to hopefully draw in any of the enemies that I potentially missed if I'm in like something like a rumble. So once I do it roots you and fires out a straight beam. So you don't want to like use this as one of your opening skills because it will root you and then the enemies will have time to get close to you if you miss them with that attack, if you're up against multiple enemies. So for me, I use 3. And it's up to you if you want to use the 2 and then the 1. But the 3 and the 1 is actually really, really good. They're very crucial because they're skills that will guard break and just constantly keep pulling the enemies into the center of the attack and make it so that it's very, very difficult for them to attack. So those 2 skills are really, really good. So you just want to make sure you have pretty good skill cooldown. For me, I don't have max skill cooldown, but I have really, really close, which as you guys can see, I have 35.9%, so pretty much max skill cooldown. And you guys will see when I play her, it's very, very hard for me to take damage once I get into my rotation. You just pretty much have to go with the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2, or the 1, whichever one order you want to go there, and just constantly cycle through. As long as your skills are on a pretty good skill cooldown rotation, you'll be fine. As for a gear setup, guys, it's pretty standard. You want to go with energy or all. I went with all defense, HP or HP by level in the first one, and ignore defense because I wanted to get as close to 50% as I could. Now, as for the obelisk, guys, I went with ignore defense and cold damage with an increased damage proc. However, guys, you don't have to go with cold damage here. I just chose to go with cold damage because she has 2 skills. The ones that says chill, those are cold damage. So I went with the cold damage because I wanted to increase the damage on those skills. However, if I got something like crit damage here, I would have probably still just slapped this on because I wanted the increased damage proc as well. However, if you guys play her and you find that you're dying, you can go with something like invincibility with this setup as well. And that's all up to you. So in order to test her out, guys, we're going to do a quick run and take her into floor 2 of Shadowland, which is the Red Hulk Rumble, which is the stage I always pick. And I usually use Wiccan here, but I'm going to test Crystal out just to see how she does and show you guys. So I went with Overdrive for her attack ISO set. You can go with Power of Angry Hulk, or if your cards are really not ideal and you don't have enough skill cooldown, you can go with Hawk's Eye. However, I don't recommend going with anything defensive, anything that gives you skill cooldown, dodge, or recovery. You don't want any of those. You want to go with an attack ISO set for her because anything else is just a waste. So without making this one super long, let's get in here and have some fun with Crystal, guys. Let's go, boys. Where you going? Get your ass in there. Take your death like a man. Come on, you're running from a girl, bro? Oh, come on. Nah, I'm playing. Sorry, Red, you gotta go. And there you have it, guys. Crystal just easily cleaned house. And that's all I have for this one, guys. Like always, thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about Crystal, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm gone.